Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Salve Versus. My name is Quinn, of course, and today I have, I don't know how to really describe this person. I've known Domo for over 4 years now. I met her when she was vetting some of her great products, and that's how our relationship started. But this woman speaks about perseverance, love, unity, community, and I don't want to give away too much. So I want to introduce everyone to Domo Band, a.k.a. Fleur Chazelle, a.k.a.
Domo the Doula.
There it is. So Domo, tell us a little bit more about your story and what really got you into the doula space.
I think what transitioned me into the doula space would be around the time when I was in college. I was just trying to figure out where exactly I want to fit into the healthcare industry. I started a women empowerment platform. I started making products. And as I gained more knowledge, I found this niche of, a community of people that were making money, finding their own clientele, using, again, all holistic products, and helping midwives deliver babies. And at the time, it was around like 2017, 2016. The doula community was a very small, tight niche. Like, to get in, you have to really want it. You had to really look and find the knowledge, find an instructor to teach you. And I was on my journey to find like which school I wanted to go to. I was still in undergrad at the time, but I did want to find a good doula school to get my certification.
Now, amazing story, and for you to lead to that point, but most people don't know what a doula is. Most people, that's a foreign that's a foreign word to a lot of people. Like, what is a doula? What is that? Like, honestly, this might be the first time my audience is going to really hear that word. So break down, what is a doula and what does a doula do?
So a doula is like a liaison to the pregnant mom, to the expecting mother. A doula should be fully equipped with knowledge, resources, and a community of people to guide that mother through that transition, whether they're delivering in the hospital, whether they're delivering at home or at a birth center, or it could just be a new-time mom looking for information, looking for resources as far as like how to set up her insurance, how to get Medicaid, how to get a free birth pump, how to go about looking for a midwife, how to go about finding a birth center, how to go about finding a proper or OBGYN that fits you or what you're looking for, whether that's high risk, just different complications. And when I first became a doula, I was more so on the holistic route. I feel like now I'm a well-rounded doula. Like I work in the hospitals, I work with I work with clients in different seasons of their life, and a doula essentially is like, again, the liaison, but also she is there in the transition when you're going into labor. So she is the person that is in contact. I would say kind of like the nurse or the CNA. Now in this day and age, we do have another placeholder in between the midwife and the doula, which is the birth assistant. And she's more medical forward. She is very aware of different tools and different procedures that are being done during the birth, while the doula is keeping the mom calm, also still assisting the birth assistant and the midwife, but more so there for emotional and mental support and making sure the mom, again, has everything that she needs and can speak for the mom. Right now, I feel like doulas are very active in the hospital scene as far as like birth plans and making sure that moms are receiving and that hospitals are following the correct birth plan. So the natural birth world is very, very large, and it's a lot of information. It's not like the hospitals where it's just like, come in, we have your back. Don't worry about it. But I do respect, and I do know a lot of OBs, a lot of labor and delivery nurses. I have made it my business to get very acclimated in the birth world as my transition. So yeah.
So and then I love you for really breaking that down, because like I said, most people don't know what that is or may have never heard that. And even the community, it's interesting to hear because we don't really hear about what mothers go through in the hospital. Sometimes you hear horror stories, sometimes you hear good stories, and sometimes you get a little bit in between. I don't know a lot of mothers personally. I do know that after they had their children years afterwards, but like actual like postpartum, I don't know anybody that really went through that recently. So what would you say are some things that as a doula a woman should have before entering the hospital?
As a doula before entering the hospital?
Yeah.
A birth plan. That's number one. Just in case if anything happens, you want to be able to command your needs, even if you're unconscious, even if you're in distress. Those are the times where, unfortunately, hospital providers do take advantage if they don't have a strong support system, such as their partner or a mom or somebody there with them. Their bag, of course, their mommy bag, and then the baby bag, which should be packed before the baby shower.
Oh.
I would suggest, but you want to make sure you have all your essentials. You want to make sure you have, like, if you have clothes that you want to put for your baby, if you have special diapers, if you have special formula, even certain documents and consent forms, like if you don't want your baby to have vitamin K, no shots, certain things that you do need to be prepared before entering the hospital.
Wow, so that's a very big laundry list of things that I didn't expect to hear. Honestly, this is the first time I even heard about a birth plan.
A birth plan?
Where did that even come from?
So the birth plans were created, I don't want to quote exactly. I'm not going to say, the birth plans were created by X, Y, and Z. Where I found out about a birth plan was through my doula certification. I was certified by one of the most amazing and extraordinary midwives, really doing a lot of active work in the community. And what was taught to me as a birth plan is a document that just necessarily talks about literally from the lighting to the shots to the VBAC to if you don't want a cesarean, literally in order, that this list should be passed down to all medical staff that is dealing with you, from the nurses to if it's a nurse midwife, to the doctor that's delivering your baby.
Wow.
And you have to get this plan approved by your OBGYN or your midwife. And it should be, that's why it's essential to have a doula, but to make sure that before you go into the hospital to have your baby, that everybody has a copy of that birth plan, including your doula. Whether I don't want no lights on my baby. I don't want my baby to have vitamin K. I want delayed clamping. I want to keep my placenta. Even to keep your placenta, to go into the hospital, your doula must be well informed and bring the proper tools, the proper, you need not a lunchbox, a cooler. You need a cooler and the proper, everything has to be to the T.
Wow.
And I love it. Some doulas, they're kind of mean to the hospital staff. I love it because, I'm going to come prepared, and I'm going to come with respect and love. And I just love making everyone feel loved and a part of the team. From, again, the labor and delivery nurses to the OBs. I literally go and travel to different OBGYN's offices and drop off gifts, supplies, and, get my name known and out there so I can build a positive relationship with these different healthcare professionals. So, yeah.
I love that last part, especially where you go out there to build that relationship. I believe that's one of the most important things you can do, because as your name gets out there, I know Domo worked with her before, and that builds her credibility. Because
you're literally giving me chills. When I first became a doula, I literally printed out a list of all the birth centers in South Florida and a list of all the African American OBGYNs that I didn't want to work with. And I can just name a few that I just really want to give a shout out to, Jamora from Southern Birth Justice, an extraordinary doula. Elizabeth at Palm Birth House, extraordinary doula. Mimi, the midwife, I said doula, OMG. Let's run it back. Jamora is a midwife. She is the coordinator of Southern Birth Justice, also the Black Midwifery Alliance. Elizabeth, she owns Palm Birth House, and it's a birth center, and she's also a midwife.
Nice.
Mimi, the midwife, as well. I haven't delivered with her, but I was able to talk to her and just be able to unpack being a doula in South Florida and not having my birth community here. Because my birth community is in Texas. I got certified in Texas.
Oh, okay.
And as far as OBGYNs, I would say Dr. Lacombe. She's a Haitian OBGYN. I've been with her since I was younger. She was my first OB.
Amazing.
Very extraordinary, very extraordinary. She's in Broward. And Dr. Bridgewater. He's a male African-American OBGYN. He's at Memorial Miramar. Extraordinary. Yeah.
So you have this amazing list of people that you could have as a reference and people that you work with. And I think that's really important now, because a lot of times people, especially online, people just want to go out there, not have any accreditation, certification. They don't know anybody, but I want to be here. If someone wants to really get into the community and get around doulas, get around midwives, what are some things they should do?
The midwifery let me not say the midwifery. The doula world is definitely expanding with radical change. There's a lot of midwives working very hard to give the opportunity to allow young women that take this type of work very serious to get their certification and be properly educated. Unfortunately, right now, with the rapid change of, and I don't want to step on any toes, but just healthcare will save my life. Like getting a job in healthcare will save my life. Doula work, birth work outside of the hospital is very serious. And with me saying that, this is what I tell people all the time. You're meeting women and you're expressing your knowledge, you're showing them your resources, and you're getting pregnant women to trust you to be in the room at one of the most important times of their life.
Totally, yeah.
So what I would say, my advice would be like the advice I give to my mentees, and like people around me. It has to be something you talk about. Like this needs to be something that your community needs to trust you to make that step forward. It's not about having a social media platform, posting different memes and posts. It's like very serious. Like my first 2 years of being a doula, I did all my work pro bono. It was free. And I did hair for a long time. Hair kind of fueled and funded a lot of my passions.
Still one of the best hairstylists.
Yeah.
Quick plug.
And I'm still trying to run away from doing hair. I'm like, no, I don't do hair.
Yes, she does.
But like I was literally buying, like, I remember a point, like my first 7 clients got flowers every time they seen me for free.
Wow.
Flowers, food, foot rubs, massages, gifts, incense. Like I went all out and I documented that journey. So if I were to give any advice, I would tell them to really implant themselves into that community and really show like what makes you different. What type of doula services do you offer? And like, what are you doing so you can be vulnerable, so people can really see who you are and trust you? Because the female community is very important to me. The women community, expecting mothers, young women, that's my niche. Like, that's literally my goal. Even being a young African-American woman of Haitian descent, like, I definitely push for the young girlies to, like, get in their bag, get focused. Because giving birth, being a birth worker, creating a family and a legacy is not for the weak, and women are very extraordinary. So, yeah. I think that anybody that wants to get in it, like, they would just have to be really serious about it. Yeah.
And I like that last section where you're saying that women are extraordinary and people have to be really serious. I think especially now, since there's a lot of crazy thing going in society. Women are under attack, men are under attack, and people aren't really taking things really as serious as they should be. Especially expecting mothers. You're bringing a baby to the world. Like some mothers die during that transition, and they get some side effects. So I believe that's more people learn about the doula environment. More people don't learn about midwives are so important. Because now we're expanding our knowledge. Okay, we don't really have to fully trust a hospital. We have a dedicated person who studied what birthing is and stuff. Okay, you go lay on the bed, whatever. Like you have someone who's actually understanding. Okay, what does a proper birth look like? What's my birth plan? Can you help me introduce me into what's the better procedures? And now we're seeing, now that you're saying that the entire doula sphere is growing, is important because I just remember I read an article a couple of weeks ago that childbirth in a hospital is upwards of $15,000 to $20,000. For me, that's a sports car.
This is definitely a good topic to talk about. First thing I want to say, happy Black. This month is men's mental health.
Yes, mental health. Yeah.
Not Black men's mental health. Men's mental health. But I do also want to say, I am I would say a new age doula. So when I first became a doula, I was all like hospital birth, like home birth, natural. Once you start getting into the field, not every woman's body is mentally or physically capable of delivering in a birth center. And that is the first thing that I would want. Like, I think that's like a conspiracy. You don't need a doula because you're doing just a natural birth. You should get a doula no matter where you're giving birth. But to have a natural birth, you need to be healthy. Like, there's tests that there are a lot of vigorous tests down to your iron, your hemoglobin, down to the bacteria in your yoni. Like, you need to be healthy. You need to be healthy, or we cannot deliver you. And the birth centers, like, you won't get your money back. Like, I don't know. I don't own a birth center, but I've seen some crazy things. But you have to be healthy. That's number one. And I don't push only like birth center births. Like, giving birth it starts mental, and then it becomes physical. And like, you have to think about a woman's mental health. You have to think about where she's at mentally. To fulfill that mission. So that's why I just try to be more open. There has been like clients that they paid off their birth center and then they end up in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, like there are clients that they were supposed to deliver in the hospital, they deliver at home or in the car. Or they're supposed to have a midwife come to their house, they deliver without the midwife. Yeah, I've been to some births, But so like anything can happen. It's all about your mental.
Yeah.
And I think just women understanding the knowledge around giving birth, I think that's where it starts with me. Because like I've taken it all the way back. I'm like, okay, how do I get the average woman to want to know about birth and her body and being healthy? And that's how I started Flourish. And just wanting to be an example. But like, it's something that's really important. Like you need to know where you're at, like physically, and like your health, your hemoglobin, your iron, taking your prenatals. I'm actually about to drop, like on my doula page, I'm actually about to bring this segment all the way back and start like as if I was pregnant, and like literally teach, like show girls which stages, like how early do you need to find a midwife? How early do you need to find an OB? How early do you need to change or like fix your insurance to a different health provider that offers, not every Medicaid offers like for you to go to a birth center. Sunshine Health to me is one of the best insurance providers because it's through Medicaid and they cover midwives. So like it's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of different things that me being shy, me not being able to open up to my community and talk about, but I'm done being shy. I've reached that point. I'm done being shy. But yeah.
So I want to step back and just go back of that. I actually worked for Sunshine Health a couple of years ago.
Oh, for real?
Yes, I worked in the Sunrise office. So I've talked to a lot of nurses there. I talked to the traveling nurses that did home care, or they went to home.
I
patients.
want them to I want to work with them as a doula for like me. I want to be able to take all Sunshine Care doula clients, like they can come to me.
Shoot, might have plug them in real quick. Let's see what happens.
Listen, I'm trying to write up a nice proposal like Sunshine Health. If you guys are watching this, I'm an amazing doula. I will stand for you guys.
So even to add on to that, like being able to really break that down. Like I love how you mentioned that you want to add to your page of what's the steps, what's the initial steps. What kind of OBGYN should I look for? What kind of this is that, and then not only just finding that person, but finding someone who is qualified and actually cares. Because the thing about, if you listen to health, there's care in healthcare, but some people don't care, so it's just health. So what kind of traits, if you want, let's bring it back to like a core, what kind of traits are you looking for in a person that you want to be, that you will have by your side at such a big moment in your life?
Like characteristic traits for your doula, your midwife, or your OB, or like characters.
Like all together, yeah, all together.
I think compassion would be number one. A listening ear. If you have any provider that's cutting you off, that's not letting you finish your sentences, like, oh no. To me, that wouldn't feel safe. I wouldn't feel safe. Yeah, no. An OB or a midwife that agrees with your birth plan. That's like, yes, I will make sure the nurses, yes. Like some people like, oh, well, you don't need that. Or we don't, like, I got this. Like, I don't know. And then as far as like a midwife, one thing I can say as I've just grown with different midwives, find a midwife that's going to hold you accountable. You don't want to be in that birth center 23 hours in labor, 34 hours in labor. Find a midwife that's going to look at you and say, you need to get this baby out right now. Stop crying, stop. Because the baby will go back in and then come back out and then go back in. Like, it's just, yeah, that's a thing.
For 23 hours?
Well, not like, but that's like the final stages of labor.
Oh, okay.
And like, you need someone that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to push you. That's why I like Elizabeth from Palm Birth House. Every birth that I delivered with her, in those last moments where, like, you feel a little bit of doubt, like, you're like, I hope, like, this, like, come on, mom, like, push through. She will look those moms in their eyes and say, push this baby out. Like, get this baby out. Like, and she's like, come on. Like, you got this. Like, she's so fierce. And she's very determined. And that's what I really admire about her as a midwife. Yeah.
That just sounds like a movie scene. Like, you look someone dead in your face, like, I need you to push his baby out. Like,
no, not even that nice. Not even that nice. Like, I'm talking about mom squirming in the bathroom. Like, giving birth is a very, like, every time after all my births, I give myself a salt bath and I go to sleep. Like, I literally sleep and I turn my phone off for at least 12 hours.
Wow.
It's a very energy, like, you feel the energy. It's like a radiating feeling. Like,
wow.
It's something you can't describe. Every birth is different, and it's always very magical. And, like, this woman is in pain, and it's a pain that no one can describe. Even in one of my books, it's in a Queen Afua book. It says the pain of childbirth cannot be balanced. It can only be endured. Ooh. Like, you can't balance that pain, like, oh, let me lean on this side. Like, you literally have to sit there and endure it. Wow. Like, and, like, breathe through it. Like, it's very spiritual. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. That was really deep right there.
It can't be balanced. It has to be endured. Yeah.
Wow. Damn, I like that. You might need to plug that book again.
I love all my doula books. I'm trying to dissect them and put them on my blog, but it's just I literally love what I do. I genuinely do, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And even when I've met you for the first time, like, as you were learning and going through that process, let's talk about Flourish, because when I first met you, you were, I shouldn't be saying this, but you was moving some product, right? So, but in a good way. She has hair oils, soaps, handmade soaps. I should add handmade soaps,
organic, natural,
handmade, good ingredients. Like, break down, like, how did you start Flourished, and how did you really grow it to the point it is now?
It all starts back in college. So around the time, like, I do want to say, like, before I started Flourish, before I started my women empowerment platform, my mom had cancer. So I went from being, like, a C student track star, like a real track star, never had to be in class. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm matching my socks with my spikes. Like, I don't know. And when my mom got sick, it was very much an awakening for me. Wow. And that's when I dove into holistic health, holistic medicine, natural everything, natural deodorant, natural soaps. I was vegan. And that's when, like, I'm like, oh, I want to be an OB. Like, this is something I want to do. Like, I've always wanted to be an OB since I was 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I used to see pregnant women. I used to be like, oh, we have to do that? Like, I'm going to have to deliver a baby one day? I was like, yeah, that's what I'm studying. Because I cannot fathom that women have to do this. So that's what I was studying. And, like, when I got to college, like, it just dawned on me, like, my mom, like, at the time, like, my mom, she was the first nurse in my family. And all my aunts are nurses.
Wow.
Yeah, she used to ride the bus to go to school. So, like, and my mom always told me, like, take advantage of your education. Like, don't let other people come from another country and take advantage of your opportunities.
Yeah.
So I'm in college. I'm like, I want to be an OB. But what really stuck with me was my mom's work schedule. And I was just like, I'm such an amazing woman. Like, I want to be able to raise my kids. Like, I want, like, what's going to happen if I can't give them this knowledge that I gained from America? Because, like, if you know me when I was younger, I used to be like, yeah, I'm Haitian, because, like, I was in my mom's stomach before I got here. Like, I'm not from here. I was raised, like, in a Haitian, like, my culture. I didn't know culture outside of my culture until I went to college. So I was very sheltered. So for me, it was just like, I want to be able to advance this knowledge that I learned being here to my kids. And, like, seeing my mom work those hours, it just wasn't for me. then I started my Women in Power platform. So I started studying business. That's when I read up about being a doula my freshman year of college. And I didn't start looking into it. I even called a doula. I met a doula on Instagram. I called. I was like, where did you like register your classes? She didn't even want to tell me. Yeah, she was gatekeeping, but I don't blame her because I do feel like it's a very like serious, it's a serious job. It's very serious. And now I feel like, you know, I wouldn't gatekeep, but I'm like, just take it serious. Like, don't think you're going to get on Instagram. Like, I know amazing doulas with no followers.
Wow.
And I know doulas with a lot of followers that probably need more knowledge. And that's why I'm very blessed that God blessed me to be a new age doula. Like, I'm very blessed for all those followers that I have, for all the people that support me and have guided me and seen the hard work that I put into my brand. Even like midwives, my store was right next to Southern Birth Justice, which to me is mind-boggling. Wow. Yeah, like my first store. But I don't want to get sidetracked. All in all, once I found my doula school, I was like, okay, how do I start a business? Like, I need to be able to get people to trust me. And I was like, women empowerment. And my women empowerment platform is how I started making my products. I just made my products. I had women empowerment circles. I wanted women to come and be vulnerable, to be open, and to be able to talk. They did poetry. They sang. My sister would sing. I would literally like sit down and just talk to these women and tell them to find their purpose. Because for me, what I kept seeing as I kept studying and learning more about becoming a doula and also midwifery, you bought me one of my first midwifery books, my first midwifery handbook to get into midwifery school. But I want to see pregnant, happy women. That is my real goal. I don't want to just be the birth worker and be like, oh, well, that's not my business. That's their personal life. Like, there are younger women that are looking up to not only me, but the other women that are giving birth to these babies. Yeah. And my goal is to see happy women after the transition. And that's really what I've been studying too right now. Like, what can I do to make sure these women are happy, no matter if their spouse decided to step up to the plate or not, or if they have a strong support system or not. And to me, that comes with purpose and finding your purpose before you look for your partner, before you look for a lot of things in life. But finding your purpose, staying on your purpose, and finding your tribe. So for me, that's like my goal for the younger women, and that is how I started Flourish. I started doing different events, and after my first grandfather died, I opened up my first booth in the farmer's market at Yellow Green, and I had that booth for 3 years. It was amazing. And like at the time, I had locks. I wrapped my hair. I didn't let nobody see my hair for about 1.5 years. And I was really embarked on my spiritual journey, and I think I definitely evolved.
And then again, another amazing background for that story, because like I'm just hearing like consistently amazing stories of how growth and empowerment and just getting to a point where you can then now help the masses.
Well, I just want to say, I don't want to interject, but I want people to know that pain is where growth starts, and that it is uncomfortable.
Run it back one more time.
Pain is where the real growth starts. I don't want any young girl to look at me and think that it was easy. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself some hard truths. And you're going to have to fall. And it's not about falling or how many times you fall. It's about how fast you're going to get up and keep going. Yeah.
And shoot, even with that kind of message, I believe I love that message too, because we can apply that to Men's Mental Health Month as a quick side tangent. Because I made a video the other day and I talked about, no, the growth is not fun. The growth is not exciting. The growth is more for you to build yourself up so then you can help others around you. Because as you grow as a person, even in spiritual capacity, all that work is being done so it could be exited through the world and then you become a beacon for others. And for my own personal growth story, like I wasn't the cool person most people know now. I had to go through a tremendous growth curve to get to this point. I wasn't thinking this way when I was 24, 25. I had to well, how do I become a better man? How do I become a better person? And just hearing even that last sentence is it has to be endured. Because if you don't endure it, you're gonna go back and be a part of the masses. And not saying that's a bad thing, but over here we talk about growth and empowerment because I tell everybody, growth is the absolute. If you're not growing, your life is not going to be that great. But once you start to grow, and your whole life will change.
That's definitely true. And even meeting you, and even right now, I think the beginning stages of growth was very painful. But I think the most pain I've experienced was like these transitions of like transitioning to being a doula, like, and attempting to transition to a midwife. Not attempting, transitioning into becoming a midwife. Having to strip certain layers back, change certain things about yourself, hard truths about yourself, to be that leader. Like, every day I have to tell myself, like, you're not regular and you're not just a doula anymore. Like, your name is going to be on people's birth certificates. People are going to look to you for important knowledge, and you need to be ready. And that's been hard for me, too, right now. While I'm still like, I want to live my life. I want to have fun. I'm still young, like, and then I'm like, no, you're not normal. You're not a normal girl. If you were supposed to be normal, you would have been normal a long time ago.
Exactly.
So you need to continue to be a leader, even if you don't, like, everyone's human. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, if I was regular, I would be married because I would be regular. Remember what I used to always tell you? This is something I used to always say. I used to be like, if I didn't open up my store, I'll be a regular girl working a regular job with all my designer and all my bags and shoes, traveling the world, taking my pictures, and I would just be a pretty nobody. But who wants to be a pretty nobody? You know? But then you deal with, like, the pressures of, like, owning a business, like, being a business owner.
Yeah.
That was another big pressure. Like, yeah, God made me a doula, but God didn't make me a business owner. He transformed me into a business owner. I wanted to be a doula. And he told me, like, oh, you want to be a doula? Well, you have to be this, and you have to be this, and you have to be this. And then, oh, you want to be a midwife too. So you need to do all this before you can be that. And when you get to that level, there's still more obstacles that you're going to have to go through. And you can't give up. Because, like, it's like you're working your way up a mountain.
Yeah.
So, like, what you want to do? Fall back, start tumbling down, start crashing on everybody? Like, no, you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's why I say I don't want anyone to think that it's going to be easy. And just because it's hard doesn't mean give up. Find your tribe and keep going.
I love you said the last part about finding your tribe too, because everything you said before that, it's definitely the truth. You're gonna have some hard nights where you're driving home like, what am I doing, or like how am I even doing this? And it's really that resiliency and really pulling through that's gonna really set you apart from the other. Because most people are gonna do what you just said. They're gonna do. Not saying anything wrong. There's anything wrong with that, but when you're called for a bigger purpose, your life is different. Even for me, like, I've been really reflecting on my life the past beginning of this year. I'm going to Fashion Week. I'm working with fashion production teams, styling people I never met before.
I was styled today. I was styled.
Styled by Quinn.
And the hair is Margarita Natural Hair Care.
There it is. And, it's sometimes I'm at home, like, how do I even get here? Like, yesterday, I was talking to somebody yesterday, I'm in the car, and I'm like, how did I even get here? And it's just like, well, I positioned myself. But people are like, Quinn, how you wake up so early? I've been positioned to wake up so early. And it's like, you have to, a lot of people, they get fear about the process, but you have to not only trust the process, but believe in the process.
Yes. And that's why, like, my focus, like, once I finish this segment on my doula page, just really putting out the proper information from the time you get pregnant till, like, after you give birth to that baby, I definitely want to hound in on younger girls. Exactly what she said is what I want women to do as far as their dating life. Like, another thing I want a lot of women to know, I didn't take dating seriously until I turned, like, 24. Like, I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to be raised around strong Black men that allowed me to love myself and to be soft and feminine. And once I did start dating, I was able to upgrade my dating experience. Like, okay, I could be dating these type of men, but do these type of men reflect me and what I want for my life? And do I feel like I can attract better and just changing the caliber of the type of people you're attracting. Because that just goes back in hand. And, like, I see a lot of suffering. Like, I want people to know that, like, my heart really goes to women. Like, women are, like, one of the most strongest creatures on this planet. They have the most empathy, the most compassion, and they're the most forgiving. And something that I really want to say, I just really want to say this. Women have the closest power to God. I think I told you this before.
Yeah.
I can kill you and replace you. I don't think a man can do that. But you don't see women going around killing and destruction, like, you know. But a woman can really rule a nation and cleanse bad energy and reproduce positive energy if given that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I just want women to move in high accord. And they are high. They are of high standard. And that's just what I see the future as. It's a lot of things that are transitioning. It's a lot of masculine, feminine women. It's a lot of feminine, masculine men. And there's still feminine women and masculine men. But I just push for growth and, you know, survival of the fittest.
Honestly, and I think it's been a game with Trishan at that point, and you mentioned that too, because a lot of people always wonder, like, how does someone get to that point? How does someone, like, become a multimillionaire? How does someone become a billionaire? And it's definitely survival of the fittest. Because you have to, as you start to make a lot of money, your life indefinitely changes, but your mindset has to jump leaps and bounds. And or if you're not, you keep that money, but then have a sharper mind. Okay,
you look at money differently.
Yeah.
Like, even certain conversations I've had with you, like some of my close friends and peers, even my mom, it took a while for my mom. I remember when I was in college, I was 19 years old, and I saved my first $5,000.
Wow.
And I called my mom and I told her about it. And I was like, to be at this age, like, Mommy, it's not about me having 5,000. I seen it. So if I seen it, that means I can make it again.
Yeah.
And, like, I even remember around my 24th birthday, I think I saved another $5,000. Like, wow. And that was around the time where I was like, should I go buy me a designer bag and, like, go on a trip? Or should I get a storefront? I think this is around the time when I moved home from Orlando. I still had my Women Empowerment platform. I was doing the booth at the farmer's market, but I needed a store. I was a doula at the time. My mom got an extra bedroom in my house so I can take my doula clients. And I was like, it's giving the color purple. Like, what's going on? Like, pregnant women coming in and out of my house. Like, this is not hair. Like, it's not flying. Like, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. And I remember calling Quinn. Oh, my gosh, this is such a powerful moment. I think I took my sister to go get her lashes done. And I dropped my sister off. And this girl that we've been going to get her lashes done, she used to do lashes in her house. And she got a suite. And I called Quinn, and I'm like, Quinn, that's not fair. How does this girl have a store and I don't have a store? I need a store. Like, do you know who I am? I'm Domo the doula. Like, I need to have a hub for my space. Like, I'm going to get it. Don't worry. And you're like, I can help you find some spaces. Like, do you know they're expensive? I'm like, Quinn, I'm going to get a storefront. Like, are you hearing me? Literally that night I got on the computer. I'm looking. And, like, I found this store. And I went there. He's like, yeah, somebody already put a deposit. I said, no, don't worry about it. I'm putting a deposit down. Like, you worried about their deposit. I'm putting a deposit down. I think I put down like another $500 to $1,000. I don't even remember. But I put down some extra money and got the keys. I got my first store for my 24th birthday. And that was probably the best financial investment that I've made in my life. Yeah. Hands down.
And I remember that we came, we painted the store, we did install furniture. It's been it's been such a long journey, and this is why I said initially about you that you have all this persistence. Like, if you don't know anything about Domo is going to persist. Like, her middle name should be persistence.
Domo persistence, Giselle.
Because, like, I know a lot of women in different areas doing different things, but I will honestly say, like, Domo's the most persistent lady I know. Because anything, like I remember that phone call about the store, then the other store, and, like, other things that we talked about, like, everything was all persistence. Like, hey, yeah, I could send you some stuff, but then I send you some stuff, and then you will find your stuff, and then we were doing the calls or whatever.
And I'll just call you because I want you to know, I want you to be proud of me. And I want you to know, like, I feel like my place in a lot of people's life is to know that a woman like me exists, and is other women like me that also exist and that will reach further heights and further goals. And I just want men, and black men especially, to know that, like, women like me exist in the world. I'm so tired of being a unicorn. I'm not a unicorn. There's literally other women like me out here, and like I'm gonna open up doors so they can be seen. And like, even from my first store, transitioning to even getting my second store, and still trying to open up another location in Miami, I remember like how everyone was just like, so what's going on? Da 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 da. You have to get a second store. You're in like this lawsuit with the city. Like, what's going on? And I was like, literally, my phone will not stop ringing. My customers will not stop calling. I have to get another store. It's not even about me.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to make triple the profit in a store that's half the size of my first store. And still, and I haven't even had my grand opening. And another thing also is just learning to just do it. I've had my first store for about 3.5 years. It took me a year and a half to even do the grand opening to that store. I've had my second store since last year, August. We're getting close to August. I still haven't done my grand opening. I actually stopped posting because I was like, you're a real business owner, and real business owners make money in real life. So you don't even, I remember telling you about that transition. I was like, Quinn, like, I've been posting on social media consecutively 3 times a day, every day since 2017. And I stopped in 2023. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of groundwork. And like, I just wanted to know that, like, I'm lit in real life. Like, like there's real people that know me, not just social media and my peers. And like, as I did shy away from social media, I think I really got to feel loved and feel recognized. Like, I remember when Miami Maternity Center, it's a birth center, it's like right down the street from my house. They're like, oh, we want you to do this event. And like, Domo the Doula, da da da. And I'm like, you remember me? Like, how's midwifery school going? I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, they're ready for me to become a midwife. Like, and I'm like, Domo, you need to get your stuff together. Like, you can't hang around the same people before you used to. You can't, there's just certain things you can't do. And like, it was a point in my life where I was tired of being the strongest person in my friend group. I was like, I need people that are more cultivating than me, that are smarter than me, that are making more money than me, that are in bigger rooms. Like, they have more access, you know? And also just learning that I could have grown more if I learned to use my voice.
Yes.
I think, like, being so shy, I just know how to be an actionator, and I'm just expecting people to follow my actions. But to really cultivate my community, I have to have a voice, and I think that's what I'm, like, practicing now, is just to speak up and talk about my journey, talk about different things I went through. Even earlier this year, I almost lost my life, and, like, I didn't want to post about it. And then I thought about it, how many people that feel like nobody cares, nobody's watching, and nobody will support them. And I'm like, I'm a major figure. Like, I need to post about this, because what are you going to do? You're going to just go ghost from posting?
Yeah.
That's not good, Domo. Like, we've already did this before. And, like, you have a platform to grow. Even recently, like, this week, I was in a life-changing situation. And I don't even feel comfortable talking about it. But even after that situation, I'm like, well, God kept you.
Yeah.
You have to keep going. That means you still have to pay bills, and you have to keep motivating. And like, everything that you scheduled, it has to follow through. If anything, you should be more determined. And so I would just want, even if you're not, like, you're watching this podcast and you're just like, well, I'm not a doula, like, I still would want a young girl to be inspired, whether she's going to school to be like a makeup artist, she wants to be a YouTuber, an influencer, she's going to school for nursing. Even me documenting my midwifery journey, like, that is something I will be documenting. I want other women that are going to school for midwifery to have an easier path. The same way you go on YouTube, you see all these cute girlies going to school for nursing. Like, I support it. I just don't want to be a nurse, but I support it. And there should be other pathways. Women should be able, like, that's what I want to think about the younger girl. I want to think about me thinking about becoming a midwife or an OB and being able to have more resources, more knowledge, more access. To find my purpose, to fuel that purpose, you know? So for me, that's like my main mission and goal right now. And also just preparing for midwifery school. Midwifery school is left hook, right hooking me right now. So I'm just trying to buckle down and maintain flourish, expand flourish while being in school.
And then that's an amazing thing too, because not only that, it's not saying that God kept you, but the versatility you've grown into after life-changing things is also very remarkable, because some people, this is, oh, well, okay, I survived, but let me take a quick break.
So many people, I think Quinlan knows, like, my mom tells me to take a break. My grandmother tells me to slow down. My cousin says I'm moving too fast. And I give shooting star energy. And I canceled my aunt. Let me not say it, but like sometime between my childhood till 18, like my ancestors have definitely planted a mission inside of me, and I won't stop. I can't stop. Like
can't stop, won't stop.
I can't stop, and I won't stop until my mission is completed.
Yeah.
And like that is for my mother. Like it's making me emotional, I work hard, but I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like work. So I can't slow down. I can't take a break, take a pause. I'm literally living in my passion. And something a woman said to me the other day, I was just talking about my situation. Like, I literally had a life-changing situation happen to me this week. And she was like, well, if you were to pass, do you feel like you lived your life to the fullest? And I said, yes, I do. But God said it's not my time right now. And she's like, so you feel like you lived your life to the fullest? I looked at her, I said, I know you meet a lot of people on a day-to-day, but you have never met someone like me before. Every day I wake up and I live my life to the fullest. I try to accomplish everything that God set for me to do, including taking care of my family and my mother. And I stand behind that. I'll relax when, I have some kids, I'm married. It's my time. But right now, like, I'm giving shooting star energy until I burn out. And I'm just moving in my passion. Like, you guys don't tell Beyonce to slow down. You guys don't tell, who else can I think of that's inspiring me right now? I'm inspiring me right now. I can't even think of any celeb. Like, the influencer world is very crazy right now. Yeah. I just can't slow down. I love what I do. It's not work. And there's so much, when much is given, much is required. Yeah. So if God has given me so many blessings, has given me so much knowledge, has given me so much information and support through my ancestors, things that I can't see or touch, and they're guiding me and supporting me and telling me that I am on the right path, how could I not fulfill God's purpose? How could I not move with such diligence, with such urgency? Yeah. And I think every person should be living their life to the fullest, because, like, I go to sleep like, I'm okay. Like, even when I had that situation, like, I was, like, in a life-threatening accident. Like, I almost died. I don't know how I made it out this accident alive. I genuinely don't know. But God made sure I made it through. And I had to keep pushing, like, God has done so many extraordinary things for me that, like, words can't even describe. Like, and I'm going to say this again. I'm so grateful to be a very reformed and well-known doula in the community. Like, I was featured from getting my certification within the next 2 years of me being certified as a doula. Mind you, I know doulas that have been doulas for 7, 8, 9, 10 years that are not even popular on social media. And I know doulas that they make shirts, they sell stuff, but are they in those birth rooms delivering babies, like, in the nitty gritty, really? Like, I was featured on Essence Magazine, Black Love Magazine, Black Mental Health Magazine. Like, then I was featured on Miami Herald, like, all within a 2-year span. Like, I was literally I remember the first time I got featured on Essence Magazine, I started crying because my followers were going up and I thought someone was, like, spamming me. I was crying. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm looking at my Instagram. I just started crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, someone's spamming my Instagram. I worked so hard. At that time, I only had 4,000 followers. I think my followers just kept going up and kept going up and kept going up. I think that was the day. I went from 4,000 followers to 8,000 followers on Instagram. Like, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, And, like, it was insane. I even remember when I went viral becoming a doula. Like, I posted that I became a doula, and it hit, like, over 150K views on Twitter because I kept telling people I'm going to be a doula. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a doula. I'm going to be a doula. I'm in school to be a doula. Future doula. Your favorite future doula. Like, I'm going to be a doula. Like,
the persistence.
You know, like, I'm like, hey, midwifery circle, but soon to be a doula, like, you know, and it literally blew up. I remember I was doing hair, and I couldn't even stop doing hair. And I was like, Mom, my video got 20K. She's like, girl, that's nothing. Like, go sit your butt down somewhere. Like, you keep. Then I'm like, no, it got like 100K. She's like, girl, like, okay, that's on you. And I'm like, it got like 150 something K views. Like, it's going viral. And she's like, wow. Maybe you need to do something with this doula stuff that you're doing. I'm like, Mom, like, nothing makes this woman happy. And she's like, so are you still not going to be an OB, or are you still going to do this midwifery thing? Like, because, like, you know, she works in the hospital with other, and they're like, yeah, my daughter's a nurse. My daughter's a this. Mm-hmm. And, like, even now, like, it makes me so happy to know my mom. She's like, yeah, my daughter, she's a business owner, and she's a doula, and she's going to school to be a midwife. And she's on these magazines. Like, I'm like, okay, Mom, let's chill out. You don't got to scare them away. Don't scare them away, you know? And even, again, like, talking about growing, like, I'm learning that I'm not my accolades. I'm not my accomplishments. I am a human being outside of my passion, even though it's something I'm very passionate about. But, like, I'm a regular person. I listen to a little bit of trap music sometimes when I'm working out, you know. I love my family. I love to cook. I love to sleep. I love to go out with my friends. But just learning that, too. People that are super passionate, they do need to take some time to just take a step back and reset. Like, okay. Like, I had to really learn that. Like, okay, let me sit back and enjoy my family and sit back and look at everything. Look at my mom, look at my sisters, see how they're happy, and then continue to keep pushing forward. I think that's what also gives you a lot of determination, because it's a very discouraging path.
And I'm an amazing advocate for breaks. You can never tell me how many times I've told Domo, are you taking a break? Have you eaten? Oh, it be 11 o'clock at night, and you haven't eaten any food or drank anything. I'm like, how are you, like...
Your passion will fuel you. Your passion will fuel you. Like, I think now, again, like, as I'm transitioning into midwifery, I am taking my mental health and my physical health more seriously, knowing that I'm going to be working 12, 24, 36, 48-hour shifts. And I wasn't eating, but I was so happy. Like, you wake up, you have to open up your spa, you have to train your staff, you have to hire people. And I was still working postpartum. Like, to know me is to know working hard. Like, I would be like, nobody has work ethic like me. Like, because, like, I would literally wake up, open up my spa, and go do postpartum, get off at 5 and come back and still do services and close my spa. And I was doing that for 2.5 years. Even now, like, I have my store in Fort Lauderdale. I work postpartum, and I work an overnight postpartum job sometimes. So, and I'm still taking doula clients. I think I just had a delivery Memorial Day weekend, so that was exciting. And I'm still taking clients, and just balancing your work ethic. Like, there's certain days, like, I have days that I work, days that I don't work, and I'll literally force myself to take a melatonin gummy and eat and be like, go to sleep. You're done, because you have school, you have this, you have that. And I just kind of work out my energy. How much energy can I burn, and how much energy do I need for rest? And having, again, certain people in your tribe will show you that you need to slow down, show you that you need to fuel your body, or you will burn out.
The worst thing I don't want anyone to go through is burnout, because I know people that they're just so excited about working, but your body needs to work too. Your body needs that care and attention. Like, I know people are super passionate, super excited. You need to be that passionate and excited by your body as well, because if you're passed on the floor, your passion's not getting you off the floor. Your body needs that attention, and I'm always on. Anyone who knows me knows I'm on their case. Like, did you take a break yet? Like, break is one of my favorite things to do, because I realized there's times when I would be working so much on a project, and I haven't even did I check in with myself? Did I am I nourished? Did I get some rest? Did I do anything
that's why this year, like, the two crazy phenomenons that I had transitioning from 26 to 27, I definitely think that's God telling me to slow down, but also God and my ancestors acknowledging my confidence and resilience to keep pushing forward. I definitely think the Most High knows how much I love my life.
Yeah.
And I love what I do. Yeah. Which is why that lady was like, oh, do you live your life to the fullest? Every day, baby. Every day.
And even you saying that, that's a very sporadic answer. Sometimes, because you could say that to somebody and you're like,
yeah, she wasn't happy with my answer.
You said what?
I think, but a lot of people aren't happy with my answers. I think to even have an intellectual conversation with me is very challenging. I challenge the norm. I was even having a conversation the other day about being a traditional woman. Mm. And I was like, a traditional woman isn't a follower. And she was like, a traditional woman is a follower. I said, no, a traditional woman will follow her traditions and not follow other people's traditions. Exactly. She's not a follower.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. I'm happy that I challenge older women as well. Again, like, I genuinely want to be that beacon. There is a woman out here like me that exists. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people haven't met a woman like me before. And if it wasn't for my experiences and my traumas and God and my ancestors, I wouldn't be who I am today. I'll be very regular. I'm just like what I used to say. Oh, I would just want to go to work and come home and buy designer and go travel and go to sleep.
But it puts you in a different bracket when you talk about your passions, your callings, because and this is something I talk about all the time, is that when you're normal, and then there's not nothing wrong with being normal, but when you're normal, your energy levels aren't really that high.
Well, to think that you're normal, like me and you, I think are on the same page. To think that you're normal is already below average. Yeah. Because nothing that I believe our Creator has made nothing is normal, and nothing is the same or the duplicate of any. I don't suggest anyone to think that they're normal. Everyone is special, and I think once everyone starts to look at the different series of events, whether they're traumatic or successful, once they start to look at them with significance, once they start to look at themselves as significance and just their trials and tribulations, they will know that they're not normal. Yeah. And if you want to be normal, you can be normal. But I think I don't want to be on the podcast and be like, oh, I'm special. I think everyone is special if you believe that you're special. Yeah. And you move with such accordance of your energy. Yeah.
And I love that you said that too, because there's times where people come to me, cool, like, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? Like, I was talking to my friend's brother, and it's like, oh, your life is always exciting. And I'm like,
your life is very exciting. I'm like, Quinn, take me with you.
But then I really sat, and I kind of like, I got tears in my eyes from him saying that, because I was like, man, like, I work so hard to make my life interesting. Like, I'm doing all these things. I'm working with production teams, fashion shows, I'm styling, working on just meeting all these people. Like, I worked hard to get my life to be to this point. And just like you mentioned, that recognition is sometimes so, I'm not sure if I could want to say relieving, or just, it feels like it's a fresh air when people.
It's like a spiritual awakening. Yeah. And even I do want to say, I remember that transition, like when I had around the time I was still doing services at my house before I got my store till now. Like, even in our friendship, I want you to know, like, when I talk about people having their tribe, there were points in our friendship where I told myself, if you don't level up, you can lose this person as a friend, because this person is evolving and expecting you to evolve as well. And they're not expecting you to evolve backwards. They want you to flourish, to grow. Yeah. And that's another thing. I feel like our generation, they don't take a lot of accountability, and they do push away the people that are pushing for radical change and radical growth. Yeah. And it's one thing to see Quinn and say they want to be Quinn's friend, than to really be in your inner circle and doing the work to maintain that friendship. Yeah. And I do want to thank you a lot for just even being a friend. You're not someone I talk to every day. Probably every like 3 months, 4 months, we check in and out. But just to have the right tribe, the right people around you will always motivate you. Like, when I speak to you, I'm like, I need to have good news to tell Quinn. Like, Quinn has this expectation of me, Even you calling me Domo Bands. I remember when you started calling me Domo Bands. I'm like, I'm not Domo Bands. Like, these people are taking all my money. Like, do you see how much I pay in payroll? Like, this is ridiculous. But then I had to think, like, he's motivating me. Like, I am Domo Bands. Like, so when I speak to this person, I need to come up and be that person and also just push through. Like, you feel like you're losing money paying $3K in payroll. Like, soon that's going to be like $7K sitting in your account. That's nothing. And even talking about, like, not to just hop the conversation back, but I remember you talking about the price of giving birth in the hospital. A hospital birth starts at $24,000 in the hospital. Once you start epidurals, and it goes up from 36 to 48 to like almost 67,000 in the hospital. Where delivering with the birth center, you pay, I think, the deposit. The most you can pay, the average starts between $1,000, $1,500 to maybe $2,500.
Wow.
But they do get paid through the insurance, like your midwife. But again, you have to be healthy.
Yeah.
So do you see, like, and some people are not even aware, or some people, they have Medicaid. The Medicaid will cover them to deliver in the hospital.
Wow.
Some people, they don't even pay their medical bill, so like it'll get billed to their house. But like, am I really gonna pay it? They're not gonna pay it. Whereas the midwife, you have to pay. Like, you gotta pay it, or she's not gonna deliver your baby.
I mean, shoot, having the midwife sounds like a more not only a more financial option, but a peace of mind option as well, because that person is trained, certified.
But you have to do the work to be healthy, to be at peace, to not be stressed. Like your hemoglobin levels, your iron levels, and certain things. Like, I think every woman, like, should start taking prenatals. Like, even if you're not trying to get pregnant, like, prenatals have great vitamins, great minerals. So just get your body ready. Like, what if you get sick? Like, you need to have a strong body. Your body needs to be resilient. Like, by the age of 22, 23, like, vitamins are very important, I definitely believe.
So I want to talk about, like, you mentioned healthy a couple of times, and especially being I'm not a woman, of course, but what does that look like for you to be a healthy woman that can give birth?
Your diet and your mental health.
Which one would you say would you put more energy behind?
Both. You can be a healthy woman and you're depressed.
We've seen that a lot of times, yeah.
Yes, I have. I've seen rich women give birth and be depressed, which made me depressed, because I'm like, aren't you supposed to be happy? I know a woman that can't even afford half what you can afford, and both can be unhappy. But I've also seen women with nothing that know themselves, that are happy, and that are strong for them and their child, with or without a partner. I've seen rich women, with or without a partner, be strong and resilient. And like, it's something like you literally have to document and show all the different type of women and all the different categories you can fall into as far as your mental health and your body. And that's why I'm so grateful that God allowed me to step into this path. Like, as a little girl, I never thought I would be dissecting this type of information of womanhood and happiness, being a woman and giving birth. And some women don't want to have kids. To me, like, having a family legacy is probably one of the greatest things I'll probably leave on this planet.
Yeah.
And I say that a lot. Like, I'm high value. Like, like, when it's my time, it'll be my time, you know? But right now, I'm definitely for the community and health, because when your body, like, when you're in, like, trauma, like, your body is going to respond to how strong it is.
Yeah.
And the baby's brain is being built in the first 12 weeks of you being pregnant. Like, women think that they can be smoking, they can be drinking, that it doesn't matter, that they don't need to be taking their prenatals, that they don't need to be looking for a doctor. The first 12 weeks, which is why I'm going back to my doula page and just revamping what women think about pregnancy, it needs to change.
Yeah.
The first 12 weeks of your pregnancy, your baby's brain is being developed. That's a big thing. And there's a lot of women, there's a lot of children being born with eczema, with autism, like a lot of different complications and things that don't necessarily make sense. And it goes back to health. It goes back to, like, did you take your vaccines? Did you get a flu vaccine? Did you get a COVID vaccine? Are you getting your annual checkups? Are you checking your teeth? Like, it's so much. When you're pregnant, your baby will steal all the calcium in your body. It'll take it from your bones and your teeth. Your teeth can fall out.
Smokes.
Yes. the bone marrow, like I said, the marrow that's being built in the brain, it comes from the omega-3 fats in a woman's butt.
Wow.
Yeah. And when she's breastfeeding, yeah, the nutrients that is going to the baby's brain, it comes from a woman's butt.
Wow.
Because that's where the most nutritious fat is in her body.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like different crazy things like that. Like you need to take your omega-3s, you need to take your DHAs. Just different things that you didn't know matters. Your iron levels matter so much. Your iron levels. If your hemoglobin is too low, you cannot do a natural birth. Like they will send you to the hospital. They'd be like, it could be your last week. Like you was eating ice. Your hemoglobin's too low. You're gonna bleed out. We gotta send you to the hospital. Or they're gonna give you an IV? Like no, they send you to the hospital. It's very sad, and that you paid all this money. You have to be healthy.
So is there a prerequisite before you book with any midwife?
So they're going to take your blood work. They're going to do an evaluation. And not just an evaluation, see if you're healthy, to see if the midwife wants to deliver you. As a midwife, I respect all midwives' decisions to choose who they want to deliver. Yeah. Because before you're a mom, before you're a pregnant, expecting mother, you're a woman, you're a human. Yeah. And energy just has to go. Like I've had clients that paid me full price and didn't call me when they're in labor and asked for a refund. Or was the call miss?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So it was a moment of silence for me. But so you have to find a midwife that is compatible to you, which is why I described so many different types of midwives. Like Jamora is for radical change, and she's for the community. She's for the midwife. She is for educating young women to help, because there's not enough hands and there's not enough midwives in the community to deliver all these babies. That midwife takes so many births. She scared me, but also encouraged me to want to go to school, because she is so wanted and so needed in our community. It awoke in me. Wow. Elizabeth is I always tell people, if I were to deliver, I would want Elizabeth from Palm Birth House to deliver my baby, because she's so resilient. And I'm a wimp. I'm going to run and cry and try to, I'm the client that's going to try to beat around the bush, and she's going to be like, Domo, push this baby out. And I'm going to be like, no. Yeah, I've had so many fun and different stories. Oh, you know what? I forgot to shout out Hollywood Birth Center. Hollywood Birth Center is an amazing birth center as well. Yeah.
So if you want to, we're going to wrap up into a couple of final thoughts. So with everything you shared, what's another thing you want people to know about why they should look into doulas and midwives?
Well, I first want to say, you don't need to have funding to look. There is plenty of pro bono midwives and doulas and free information for anyone expecting. Mm-hmm. But to all women, I would suggest to look for a midwife or a doula to relieve yourself of any extra excess stress, or just to feel confident in your birth. If you don't find a doula that sits right with you, keep looking. If you're looking for a midwife or a doula, look early. Even if you're looking for your OB, find them early. Don't wait till your second month. Don't wait till your third month. Your third month, you're looking, by the time it's going to be your fourth month. Yeah. These are all things that people know in advance. They know who their midwife, and they get booked. It's like a photographer, like a wedding. Good midwives do get booked. And once they're booked, they can't deliver you. That date is taken. I'm so sorry. You have to find someone else. So just being aware and just gaining knowledge, I think that's the main goal, to get a doula or a midwife, yeah.
And then to even add on to that, what's another thing you can leave that you want to empower women as well?
Yeah, another thing I think I left out, you can see an OB and a midwife at the same time. You can definitely have a second opinion, and I suggest that as well. If I were expecting, I would see an OB and a midwife. And I suggest all women take advantage of their healthcare opportunities. With your insurance, you should be able to see a midwife and an OB. You don't have to tell them you don't have to like just spill all your like your information out there. You don't have to tell them like, oh well, you don't have to tell your OB like I'm gonna deliver with a midwife, and you don't have to tell your midwife I'm gonna deliver with an OB. They're here to make sure that you're healthy and make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
And help you along this journey, where your midwife might give you natural alternatives, but your OB will be able to schedule you for free sonograms and be able to give you the support of the hospital without coming out of pocket. Because when you're with a midwife, you have to pay for your ultrasounds. You have to pay for a lot of things. Yeah. So I guess that would be like a new age piece of advice, to have both.
Very, very important. Make sure you have, like you said, two different opinions, because that can always help. Same thing as even if you, kind of a segment, but even if you have a therapist, make sure you're having people that align with you. Alignment is very important, because if someone's energy is completely, like you mentioned before, that energy needs to be aligned. Because then someone radical and then someone for you, they give you different opinions, but the person is for you will always be for you.
Right. And also just to speak on, just to touch back on men's mental health, your partner's mental health definitely matters.
Of course.
I know a lot of strong men that are fathers that are doing it alone. I have seen women walk away from their kids. I've seen so much. And finding the partner that's equally yoked with you, like finding someone that, like your person to tackle life with, but your partner's mental health definitely matters. Mental health matters as part of this whole process. And it does affect baby and affects mom. And I just want to say that. And I do want to also state that, like, within my journey of being a doula, I've seen a lot of men have to just stop living their life and living their purpose and step up to the plate to enter fatherhood. And I just want to give like a round of applause to all the fathers that are out there for Men's Mental Health Month, because I've seen a lot of change in the male community as far as stepping up to the plate and entering fatherhood. I feel like back then a lot of men would walk away from their kids and have nothing to do with them, and I've seen countless men like fall themselves into situations that don't even make sense.
Wow.
And they'll still be there for their kids. So I really appreciate that as well.
And it's very important, and thank you for bringing that up, because we don't hear those stories.
Yeah, no one wants to talk about those stories, but they're important.
Yeah, because it gives a good highlight of, there's people out there actually being fathers, and it's really sad. It's been made a joke of like, oh, he went out for milk and never came back. I'm like, that's a really sad thing to say, because even for me, I didn't have a father growing up, and I really had to step up to the plate in so many areas for myself. That, like I said, that the work is tremendous. But because I've done all this work, I met all these people. You wouldn't be here if I didn't do that work. Like the lines are so blurred that just one thing and I could be somewhere else.
I feel that very deeply. Even in the sense of like, who said because you have a partner that you're gonna leave with your wife, that she's gonna make it through the birth? You might have to raise that baby, just you and baby.
Yeah.
There's many things that can happen, many trajectories that can happen. And a male figure is definitely very vital in the home and the support and the mental health of women and baby. I do want to say that. And it does affect the postpartum.
And like I said, it's good to mention that too, because we all need to hear that strong family unit.
That's why I said the survival of the fittest. Like, everybody want to act like men don't need women, women don't need men, families are not that important. Life, no matter how we spin it, him, she, them, they, no matter how they spin it, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be. That's what it was in the beginning of the time, and that is what it'll end in.
Yeah. And
that applies to all areas of your life. So I feel like people should just take what they want with it and choose wisely.
I know. I'm trying to transition it out, but I mean that's another great point, because I didn't take dating seriously until I got to.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about dating.
Yeah, I didn't really look at that until I got to 24, and then I really realized that at that time I didn't know what I was really looking for or what I wanted, because I was just following what my friends were doing. But I remember I saw somebody, and then I went home that night and I wrote a list of everything I wanted to look for.
And a woman?
Yeah. And I would say maybe 3 months in, my whole school changed. Because I was just following my friends do, but now I'm like, wait, I want someone who actually like I have a conversation with. I wanted someone that they were creative. I wanted someone that they think for their own. And over time, it's not only people that I dated, but friendships became that way as well.
And that's why I say for women, I don't know if you remember when I was talking about upgrading their dating pool. Around, like, I didn't take dating serious until after I had my store. And after I had my store, I dated someone that had a kid. And that also was a blessing and a curse within itself. I feel like God was definitely testing me to see, like, I'm just going to say it like how I felt it. I feel like God was testing me to see if I was desperate. Like, desperate to be a mom, desperate for motherhood. And I honestly just wanted to help. I just wanted, like, I was just absorbing and paying attention and just seeing. And, like, it was a lot for me. And I had to realize that, like that person was a great person to me. But, like, the drama, it was a lot that I went through in that relationship. And it affected me being a doula. And it's like, what do you see? What do you want people to see you as? And that person treated me very good. Very, very, very good. But that doesn't mean that that was my person or that I needed to be in that situation. And just because that person treated me good doesn't mean that that's what I deserved. And that, like I had to remind myself, like, Domo, do you remember the type of family dynamic you wanted to create? And, like, once I seen that I necessarily don't have control over this family dynamic, I had to love myself enough to walk away, even though that person was giving me everything that I thought I wanted, and realize, like, no, you said you're this type of person, so you need to manifest this and create that, not come in where there's already creations being built, and you, like, that's just not what God wanted for me. And I faced bullying, I faced slander, like, that was probably one of the most darkest times in my life, and also that's what made me find my voice, because like, speak. You're a good speak about what you do, speak about the good things that you do in the community, speak, like, you are a phenomenal woman. And I couldn't speak, like, I felt choked up because, like, I just felt choked up, like, because in my head I'm like, okay, yeah, like, as a doula, I felt like I was like, well, this is something I can talk about, like, this is something I can help women transition through. Like, just because I'm a doula doesn't mean that I can't date someone that has kids. It's just such a touchy topic. It's such a sensitive conversation. And, like, I respect those women. Like, till this day, I have the utmost respect for them. But that doesn't mean that that's, like, the situation for me, you know? And, like, with dating, you have to know your standards. You have to know who you are and what you're manifesting, because you can really get into a situation that degrades your whole, like, degrades your worth too. And even if that person isn't degrading you, but, like, am I equally yoked? Like, you know, and even in other dating situations, like, I had to really sit back, like, okay, this person is a party promoter. You're a doula and a student midwife. What are you going to learn or gain dating a party promoter? Like, this person is going to clubs, is going to parties. This person is meeting with fake Instagram models and girls that want to be lit. You know, midwives and doulas and people that are in birth centers. You guys are not equally yoked. This does not compliment you, does not help you. It's not doing nothing. Like, you need to date people in your bracket, in your standard. And I thought that because I didn't date, like, I could still date for love. Not that I'm not dating for love, but, like, you're somebody. Like, you're not that same little girl that's just, like, my favorite color is purple and I like candy. Like, you know, like, you're somebody. You have more substance to you. So find somebody of that substance. Like, if you like to read, find someone that likes to read, but also find someone that understands the healthcare industry. Like, they don't have to be in the healthcare industry, but that doesn't mean they can't be equally yoked with you and what you have going on. Life partner, you know, life. We have to make it through life.
It's interesting that you mentioned that too, because I've always looked at lifestyle, because
I never looked at lifestyle.
Lifestyle, I started to really realize lifestyle is very important. A little bit into making a list because I'm like, well, I'm a photographer. I'm going a lot of shows. I'm doing work with models. I'm doing work with other photographers, um, event curators and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll be somewhere in that space. But then I got around that space more, and then I realized, like, well, maybe not, because it's one thing to work within an industry and then to date someone in the industry, but then to date someone outside the industry and you work in the industry, it's you're living parallel lives at that point. So I got to a point where I realized, like, well, if I'm gonna do this, I can't be with someone within that industry.
For real?
Because I realized if if both parties aren't strong enough, the separation is going to grow wider and wider and wider and wider. There's a lack of unity. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but there's a lack of unification where when you're always around beautiful people, you're sometimes, especially for men, their mind starts to wander. Like, oh, maybe this is that. Like, I've been around thousands of models. I meet models almost every weekend at this point. I thought, oh, maybe I'll be with a model. I don't want to be with a model. And I mean, that
yeah,
because,
and it's just, again, you're right about when it comes to lifestyle, and that's why I talk about growing. Like, people have to grow. I, like, dated for love. Like, I'm a very traditional woman. Like, you find someone, you click with them. But as I've grown as a business owner, and, like, I have one of my friends, we're like, yeah, dating as a business owner is so hard. But you saying that made me really sit back and think, like, dating someone in my field. I've networked, I've met a lot of people, like, in the healthcare field, but I've never really dated somebody in the healthcare field. But, like, I feel like your field is much different. Like, do I want a man that's going to be around women all day, every day? No. But then I try not to judge because I'm a high-value woman, and, like, I do feel like I am a fashion-forward, a more innovative doula / midwife. I do feel like I'm going to be more on, like, the magazines, the podcasts, speaking up, showing that you can still be beautiful and work in healthcare. You can still have a life and work in healthcare, and not even just like the hospital healthcare, but alternative healthcare, you know, and still be happy and innovative and be current, you know. So I have to think, like, would my ideal partner, or the person that I think is equally yoked for me, would they want that for me? Would they want me in the spotlight? And I've had, like, while dating, have people like, I don't want you, like, you have too much clout, or you're too lit, like, and I'm like, I don't even go outside.
very rarely.
Yeah, like, but then when I do go outside, it's like so many people, they're trying to talk to, I'm like, this is too much. This is too much. But then I'd be like, I should go outside. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. And even in my dating, like, I'm not going to say it's not my focus. God and my passions just truly have my full undivided attention. And, like, even in that transition of midwifery, like, I can't let somebody take my focus. I'm very selfish right now. Very selfish with my time, my energy. And I'm just so excited to become a midwife. I'm like, that's probably the most emotional / like life-changing thing for me right now. And it also makes me feel like I'm transitioning into my womanhood. So yeah, it's a real beautiful journey right now.
And even like the last part you mentioned, like, you transitioning into, it's like you're elevating to the next stage of being a new person. So then as you grow, as we all know, as you grow, people, your circle gets smaller. It gets smaller and stronger. Like, I'm giving an example. 2023, the beginning of 2023, leading to 2023, my entire circle changed. I went from hanging out with, like, artists and mainly artists and creatives. Now my circle's full of entrepreneurs. I don't want to be an entrepreneur, but I realized the focus was, okay, these people are working on a higher level, so that means I got to work at a higher level. And now even more, I'm dealing with more entrepreneurs, more people doing bigger business and different things like that. I'm like, damn. So, like, I'm seeing people bank accounts of millions of dollars. I'm like, yo, like, this is like, and, like, sometimes it's the same question, like, how did I even get here?
I don't know if you remember, I remember you coming to my store, and it was in Miami when, like, a lot of African American women, like, were losing their business. Like, I had my store, and then everyone's like, the Hippie Haven lost their store.
Yeah.
And then there was like this co-working space, and like, yeah, they lost their store. And I remember you telling me this, and it put like fire in my butt. Like, I was like, I can't, like, you know. And I just want to say, even when I talk about tribe and I talked about our friendship,
Yeah.
when you have certain people and you find certain people in your tribe and you see them leveling up, it's going to force you to level up.
Yeah.
And it's going to force you to want to stay in that tribe. If growth is really your goal, if expansion is really your goal, because in this industry, you meet a lot of people that want certain things for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Or they want clout for all the wrong reasons. Or they have clout, they're not doing nothing with the clout.
Yeah.
Or like just different things. Everyone has different intentions. And that is why, to me, I think the growth process, that uncomfortable process, is so relieving for me. It just brings me closer to my tribe. Like, my work ethic brings me more, because I'm not normal. Like, my work ethic isn't normal. Like, I literally, this morning, I woke up at 7 a.m., was on my computer for like 32 minutes, waited for the beauty supply store open so I can go buy some more makeup. And I was like, Domo, why are you on your computer right now working? Like, and I'm like, pack it up. We're taking it with us because I feel like Quinn is going to ask us to go to lunch and I could pop it open and show him all the stuff we're working on. Like, and I'm like, Domo, it's because you love what you do.
Yeah.
And again, like, you do know a lot of successful, like, out of one of my friends, you're probably one of the most extraordinary, like, associates as people I have in my corner that I can call on. Or even, like, us coming together to do this podcast, like, who can I sit down to really unpack who Domo the Doula is? And I think nobody would be better fit for this position besides you. Like,
thank you so much, Doula.
Oh, no problem. Like, you're definitely an innovator, and your way of thinking is definitely just speaks for radical change. And I think that's what 2024 is all about. It's a lot of radical change and growth happening within the community, within South Florida, and all across the U.S. too.
I love you mentioned radical growth, because I tell people that growth is my middle name. And I really stand on that because I've seen how much my life has changed since I dedicated to growing. I've seen how much people I've influenced. I've seen so much people that even I've met over the period of time. And that's why, like, I always say growth is absolute. Like, I would say even all our conversations after all the years to this point, it's always been up, it's not back. Like, I know sometimes you're crying, like, Domo, I know in this situation you're going through, but you're going to make it out. It's going to be better.
I'm very much a crybaby. If the tears are rolling, it's serious. But also, even saying that, you know what that also made me want to talk about? Do you remember where, like, you'd be like, Domo, you need to change this. And I'm like, Quinn, this is who I am. Like, there's certain aspects or attributes about me I know I won't change. Yeah. That doesn't mean you can't tweak or fix other things in your life, but also that's a part of the journey of finding out who you are. Yeah. There are going to be certain things that you're going to change, and there's certain things you're not going to change. Like, no matter how sweet you guys see me on this podcast, I love Little Durk. I'm sorry. I'm a Little Durk fan. Like, I just, but who's to judge? Like, I'm not a judgmental person. Nobody should judge anybody else. But there's certain things that some people, that's what makes your personality. Yeah. You know? And you have to know what makes your personality. And it'll be sometimes I'll hang out with Quinn and I'm like, I'm not like your other friends that are fake, that are walking around acting like something they're not. At least I know who I really am. Like, I know the things I need to change. I know, like, I just know what I stand for. Yeah. And I would want everyone to do that as well. Like, if you know there's certain things you won't change about yourself, stand firm. Yeah, double down on it. And find people that understand and respect your boundaries, you know? And that doesn't mean you shouldn't change other areas of your life. Or even if you're not ready to change that right now. Because I have not listened to Little Durk in, like, months. Wow. You would actually be sad. Like, you'd be like, Domo, are you the same? You must not be in the gym right now, because why are you not listening to Little Durk? And it's just like, I'm just evolving. Yeah. Like, I've been actually listening to a lot of gospel, a lot of motivational music, a lot of podcasts. I actually haven't even been listening to a lot of music. Wow. And, like, the songs that I listen to are, like, old songs that I remember, like the song we were playing before the interview. And I'm like, why do you have this song stuck in your head? Like, I'm just like, it was so cute. When I record my videos, I know the words, so I want to record the video to this song, you know? So it's just, like, certain things you might not want to change right then and there, but you know you want to change. Like, I want to listen to positive music because if I want other women to manifest, and if I expect other things of other people, I have to have certain expectations for myself. Yeah. And also the expectations of what I see myself, like what does, because it's going to be Domo the Doula, Flourish the Midwife, not Domo the Midwife. So I'm like, what does Flourish the Midwife look like? Like, what does she look like to you? What does she wear? What does she dress like? Does she have her makeup done every day? What type of car does she drive? What type of food does she eat? Where does she hang out? What does her friend group look like? And that's really what I've been like cultivating right now.
And since you actually broke that down a little bit, like how would you describe your style? Like break down the fit of today of what made you put that together.
So today we're giving presidential, classy. I do wear a lot of soft neutral colors. To know me is to know like soft nudes, beige, mauves, greens. I just started moving into a more futuristic look, like black, as far as like my brand and just exemplifying my brand. But this definitely gives old flourish. The look or the vibe that I think I am is I am a futuristic African American Haitian woman of descent. I don't want to look spiritual. I want to look presidential. I want to look like I stand on business because that's what I do.
All the time.
Like I used to look spiritual. I used to have that look, and like I still am. But I don't need to come off looking like that. And I want other black young girls to know that you can be beautiful. If you want to silk press your hair, silk press your hair. You want to wear an afro, you can wear an afro. You want to wear a wig, you can wear a wig. But I just want to exemplify black excellence. And that's just my style. That's been my style for a little minute now. My slacks, my business attire, my dresses, the pinks, the like standing out, just want to look different. The silk pressed hair, like whatever you want to do. Like sometimes I beat my face, sometimes I wear lashes, sometimes I don't, but definitely black excellence. And that's what I stand for right now, like black girl excellence. And just exemplifying and highlighting other extraordinary black women that are setting the example and setting the tone for young black women to reach greatness.
Yeah. And I love that you put excellence in there because for me, excellence and elegance are the main things that I always look for. Like someone can look a certain way, but are you excellent and elegant on the inside, and can you? And really that's what I had to.
And that's what I had to really tell myself. Like I loved my log journey, but I was tired of looking like I was in survival mode. You're a queen. You're an empress. Why? Who told you that spirituality meant that you look like you were in survival mode? There were queens that ruled nations. When were they in survival mode? You're not in war. You're not in combat, and you look like you're gonna go fight. With these locks on your head, like, and he laughs every time, and like literally got to the point I had bald spots on my edges because I kept retwisting my. Who told you? Who told you that you're in survival mode? You're beautiful. You have beautiful hair. You can wear curly. Like I just started like silk press, but like you're beautiful. What's going on? Show people that you're beautiful so other girls don't feel like my hair is too much, I can't be beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
Like my afro is too much, I can't step in a room and feel presidential. You are presidential. You're that and nothing less. Yeah. And like that's what I want to stand for. Like I love the colors. I'm very simple. I'm not really a fashion forward type of person. I wear scrubs all day, every day, and I have a million pair of Crocs. But when it's time to dress up, I do love to dress up. I do love to be beautiful. I was styled. I had to get my outfit approved by Quinn himself. So he did approve my outfit. And, yeah, just feeling beautiful and, like, just coming as what I want to be treated as. Like, if I want to be treated as soft, as respectful, as innovative, if I want to be treated like black excellence, I need to show up like black excellence. And I just want little girls to look at me and be like, she's so beautiful, I can be just like her. Because you can. And they are beautiful. Like, they can straighten their hair. They can wear beautiful dresses. They can wear curly hair. They can wear sew-ins. They can do whatever. And even if they want to wear locks, they can wear locks too. It's just perfectly not for me. And that is something I definitely want to talk about, like my journey of feeling like I had to lock my hair due to the amount of knowledge that I obtained, and feeling like if I didn't have locks, those other people that know that I've obtained that knowledge or are vibrating at that level or higher would not respect me. No, that's not the reality. And if they don't respect me because I decide to be innovative and be in the now, they're not on my level. and I've actually surpassed them because they're just vibrating like at a peak. Like they've only reached this certain level of knowledge and capacity. And yeah, I can cut my hair off right now, so I'm not spiritual. I'm bald now.
And it's good you said that too, because I know a lot of people sometimes they don't really talk and really develop their appearance. They just think, oh, people accept me as I am. That doesn't always follow through the same way. Like you have to accept yourself first. Put yourself in a place where you look respectable and you look like you're kept or well kept. Yeah. Because it's people always say, oh no, I don't really care about my appearance.
Yeah, like I don't dress for trends. Like that whole rock emo, like I don't dress like that. I don't care if that's the aesthetic. Like I think the only time I went to a JT concert around my birthday and I wore like this pink. It was cute, but it was definitely Domo. Like I don't dress for trends. I don't dress for current styles or like certain vibes. Like you would never see me in some all black leather with the boots. Like you can't catch me. But that's not me.
That'd be tough though.
It would be tough. Maybe if I was doing like a photo shoot or something. But that's just not me. And I've just been sticking to that too. Like I think when I was younger, I did a lot of cinematic films. I did a lot of more photo shoots. Before I became a doula, when I was in my women empowerment era, I was more creative. But I feel like, again, like once you start to grow, you start to hound in on just how I want people to perceive me. Yeah. Or like what that image, when people hear my name, what's that first image that they see in their head? They're either going to see me with a dress or some scrubs or something. Like I already kind of know what people will see when they think about me. Yeah. And I just want to maintain that image, or if anything, make it better. And I think people that certain crowd, that certain niche, that want to find their tribe, that are business owners, that are pushing for that radical change, like people that genuinely know themselves, don't feel like you have to dress like stay you. Yeah. Like Quinn you're you all the time. I think like my presence makes me. The hair, I'm always very simple. I'm a simple girl. Like my presence, who I am, definitely steps into the outfit. So I just try to dress up as that. And I think everyone should just cultivate what makes them. Some people wear all black, like they eat it up. Like that's their thing. Some people wear like a lot of colors. Some people wear like nudes and beiges. Like everyone is different and everyone is open and acceptable to their own style. But I just think like, be you.
And that's a very important thing too. So what are some final thoughts? So what are something you want to leave future people with?
Know yourself. Take some time to sit with yourself and know yourself. Everything that I've gained was through solitude and being alone and figuring out who I really am.
I want to add something to that real quick and get ready for y'all. Who you are in solitude will show things you need to work on. And if you don't believe you need to work on them, solitude will show you that. That's it. See you on the next episode.